Our corporate strategy hasn't changed because we all fundamentally believe that travel will return. Travel will probably return with a vengeance, and this is not going to go away 10 years from now, despite the pandemic. What has changed, however, is that we have been more cognizant that the near and medium term might look very, very different. And how we stabilize in the long term may be different. And that has caused us to really have to think about whether we need to rethink certain elements of that corporate strategy in terms of how do we get there 5 to 10 years from now.
So with regards to our investment strategy and the type of assets we were pursuing before COVID, I would agree with what Carmen said, like not much has changed. We also were long-term investors, always have been. And so in the history of Brookfield, the global financial crisis or COVID will be a blip rather than an impact that forces us to materially shift. But we had to naturally shift operationally. So we own a lot of the corporate elements to our real estate and manage the companies. And we obviously needed to figure out how COVID changes the trading environment for our investments, not just imminently in 2020, 2021, but maybe going forward.
I mean, I think that this whole pandemic has really reinforced our strategy on so many levels. So it's, there's a couple of elements to it. So if you come from being small and having more space and being more exclusive, I think that's helped us during the pandemic because we have a lot of villas, we have more space, we have like various F&B outlets, we have beaches, so you can create experiences for the guests that still allow some social distancing. And I think playing in that top luxury space, what we see is as soon as people are able to come, they will travel.
I think what the industry is not yet aware of is the speed with which these new areas of regulation are going to come into play. So the question is, how ready are we? What the governments are doing and the institutional investors and financial community are following is a complete reorganization of the future economy to be a green economy. So I think there's a lot of work that can be done. Hopefully, lots of opportunity embedded in that too.
Well, I fully agree. This is so new for us as an industry, and part of this is trying to figure out what are the sustainable metrics. How do we measure this in a consistent way so that when we see more reporting, and we are definitely seeing amplified focus, it's increasingly clear, at least for us at Booking.com, that it's not just about shareholders, it's this whole concept of stakeholders.
I mean, sustainability kind of gets, thrown around a few departments, right? Design and construction, technical services, operations, but you kind of, wonder who's coordinating all of that from a central standpoint. And, to your point, in referencing against other industries, I mean, part of our challenge is the dynamics of the hotel business and the fact that it's not just, Six Senses or IHG, where Yvonne can do what they like, but ultimately you've got to persuade and influence owners to do their part as well. So it's, it's more of an influencing role, if you're in stewardship type of role, I think. But inevitably, I think we'll see, people start to develop a skill set, and we'll bring in learnings, hopefully, from other sectors.
If the investment community is being regulated, motivated, and structured in a way that sustainability is embedded in their metrics for success, then that filters back down to the other development team out there who are seeking to grow value for their organizations.
So BREEAM and the EEA are working closely together, for example, to create the world's first bespoke BREEAM in-use program. So that's covering all operations, managing assets, as well as bespoking the buildings design construction program that BREEAM has, which we feel is very important because it's independently vetted and it's scientifically robust. So that's the work that we're doing.
for me, the interesting one is, will we start to see sustainability clauses in HMAs? We should do, or in some of the investment documentation, these metrics around how we can motivate the stakeholders to push this agenda.